Hello, everyone, and good evening to you all. My name is Felton Parker. Today is Monday, April 7th, 2025. As always, each day is a wonderful day to be blessed by our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I sincerely hope you folks enjoyed your weekend, and I sincerely hope you folks have a truly blessed and wonderful Monday. What I have for you guys in tonight's video is the list of all the National Day holidays from my National Day calendar segment. That includes my featured National Day holiday. Also tonight, right after my National Day calendar segment, I will have my famous birthday segment for you all, where it features our famous people who were born on this day. And also tonight in my weather segment, I will let you all know exactly what we are expecting for tomorrow, which is Tuesday, the remainder of this week, the upcoming weekend, and on to the start of next week. So without further ado, let's get things started here on this Monday night as we begin fresh another new week. Welcome to the first full week of April. How does it feel? So again, let's get it started here with my National Day calendar segment. And of course, today was National Beer Day. So if any of you are watching me live, please forgive me for talking to you guys about this, but today was National Beer Day. Each year on this day, National Beer Day recognizes the world's most widely consumed alcoholic beverage. Following water and tea, it is the third most popular drink overall. Hashtag National Beer Day. One of the world's oldest prepared beverages, beer possibly dates back to 9500 BC when cereal was first formed. It is also recorded in the written history of ancient Iraq and ancient Egypt. Perhaps there is a porter or a Belgian in your glass. Whether yours is fermented or not, dark or pale, hoppy, bitter, smooth, raise your mug. Lifted high among friends around the world, thanking those who work brewing delicious beer in your local area. And besides, beer lovers have more selection than ever before. The craft beer industry continues to challenge the classics, providing a wide variety of choices. Thanks to these opportunities, new beer drinkers are joining the club every day. Good evening to you, Ashley. How are you doing tonight? Good evening to you, Ashley. How are you doing on this Monday night, and how was your day today? Here's how to observe. Grab a beer and spend some time with friends. Of course, this wouldn't necessarily fit my category because I, for one, do not drink. Just to be honest with you. Remember to always drink responsibly and never drink and drive. Celebrate with a pint of pale ale, lager, stout, wheat beer, or pale ale. Use hashtag National Beer Day to post on social media. On April 7th, 1933, President Franklin Roosevelt took the first step in the prohibition and signed a law that allowed people to brew and sell beer. In the United States, as long as it remained below 4.0% alcohol by volume ABV. Beer drinkers celebrated and were happy to be able to purchase beer again for the first time in 13 years. The celebration by beer drinkers was dubbed National Beer Day. So researchers found that National Beer Day showed up in 2009 on social media after Justin Smith, a Richard, Virginia craft beer examiner, and his friend Mike Connolly from Liverpool, England, created a Facebook page celebrating National Beer Day. The day corresponded with the date the Colin Harrison Act was signed into law and became active. On their National Beer Day Facebook page, the duo invited friends to join, and the word spread to many sources. Many types and styles of beer are on the market. Two prominent styles of beer are lagers and ales. They are further broken down by pale, dark, stouts, pilsners, and other types of beer. Most light beers contain less alcohol than regular beer. You know, you got your brands of beer, like Budweiser, like some of the most popular brands of beer. Budweiser, Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light, Michelob, among others. You know me, I don't drink, but I'm sure just to pray for those. Of course, this is the day voted most of the drinking beer. So just pray to God that So I am thanking God that I do not drink beer, and hopefully I never ever have to consume. So I am 40 years old, and of course I am 40 years old. I'm about to be 41. And to this day, throughout my almost 41 years of me being alive on this planet we call Earth, I have never once consumed a sip of alcohol in my life. Now, I mean, I know exactly what beer smells like, but I sure as heck would never, ever take a sip of beer. So, just for those of you who drink, please drink responsibly. Never drink and drive. And, so, you know, again, there are different types of beer. There's some of the most popular brands of beer. My top 5 brands of beer, you know, like Budweiser, Coors Light, Bud Light, Miller Lite, and Michelob. Like there's so many different brands out there. But that's part of my National Day. That's part of, and also don't forget Corona and Corona Light beer. Don't forget that. Especially when Cinco de Mayo comes up. Especially when Cinco de Mayo happens on the calendar next month. How was your day today, Ashley? Today also was IEP Writing Day, National Girl Me Too Day, National No Housework Day, and also today was National Coffee Cake Day. Excuse me. Excuse me. So today was also International Beaver Day. Now here's something that would sort of fit my category. So today was International Beaver Day. So on this day, you can gnaw on International Beaver Day. You would if you want to mark the day. Today honors the beaver woman, Dorothy Richards, on her birthday. Dorothy Richards studied beavers at Beaver Sprite Sanctuary in New York's Adirondack Mountains for 50 years. Wildlife historians estimate that in the early 1800s in North America, there were as many as 60 million beavers. Their fur and their musk became valuable commodities, so they were trapped to near extinction. Now there are an estimated 6 million beavers in North America. Did you know the Catholic Church once categorized the beavers as fish? The beaver is the official symbol of Canada. Beaver pairs are monogamous, staying together for multiple breeding seasons. North American beavers prefer the inner bark of aspen and poplar, but they will also take birch, maple, willow, alder, black cherry, red oak, beech, ash, hornbeam, and occasionally pine and spruce. Beaver dams are created as a protection against predators such as coyotes, wolves, and bears, and to provide easy access to food during winter. Beavers always work at night, and they are prolific builders, carrying mud and stones with their forepaws and timber between their teeth. Here's how to observe. Read about beavers on Wikipedia. Read Beaver Sprite, My Year Spent on Annual Sanctuary by Dorothy Richards. Take a hike to a beaver pond. Look for a public library display on beavers. Attend a program about this environment engineering animal. Use hashtag International Beaver Day to post on social media. Mrs. Richards' life as a naturalist and educator remains inspired by other wildlife lovers, botanists, and scientists. So, Mrs. Richards' life as a naturalist and educator remains inspired by other wildlife lovers, botanists, and scientists. So in 2008, the board of directors of the group called Beavers, Wetlands, and Wildlife chose her birthday, April 7th, which happens to be today's date, for International Beaver Day. On that first International Beaver Day, the group published and distributed 1,000 copies of a special teacher's edition of the Coexisting with Beavers DVD. More than 100,000 visitors came to her home when 2 consecutive beaver families lived. As part of her life work to enlighten the public about this important but shy animal, she wrote Beaver Sprite, My Years Building on Animal Sanctuary. Friends and professional associates of the beaver woman, Dorothy Richards, created a non-profit Friends of Beaver Sprite after her death in 1985 to carry on her educational efforts. So that is what we know about beavers for International Beaver Day. Now here's my famous birthday segment here on this Monday night. Excuse me. Excuse me. So here are the famous people who were born on this day, Monday, April 7th. Today, movie actor Jackie Chan turns 71. Pop singer Anne Marie turns 34. TV actor Brandon H. Lee turns 26. Movie actor Russell Crowe turns 61. Rock singer John Cooper turns 50. TV actress Anna Kunkel turns 38. Gospel singer Toreen Wells turns 39. Baseball player Adrian Beltre turns 46. TV actress Kyra Smith turns 22. Director Francis Ford Coppola turns 86. And bassist Ben McKee turns 40. Those are your following famous people who were born on this day, Monday, April 7th. And now, of course, now of course, this is the grand finale of my March Madness. This is the grand finale of my March Madness segment. This is the grand finale of my March Madness segment. Of course, throughout the weekend, we watched both the women's and men's Final Four, and of course, now in my weekend Facebook Live video with you guys, I have given you all a recap of the NCAA Women's Final Four. Excuse me. And of course, the NCAA Women's Final Four. Of course, the Women's NCAA Championship game was being held on yesterday, which was Sunday, April 6th. So the Women's NCAA Championship game was on yesterday's date. That was Sunday, April 6th. So so here's a recap of the 2025 NCAA Women's Championship game, which of course was on yesterday's date, Sunday, April 6th. Excuse me. So the 2025 NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship game was the final game of the 2025 NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament. So the 2025 NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship game was the final game of this season's Women's Basketball Tournament. It determined the 2024-25 NCAA Division I Women's Basketball season and was contested by the number 2 seed UConn Huskies from the Big East Conference and the number 1 seed, the top seed, the South Carolina Gamecocks from the SEC. The game was played on Sunday, April 6th. Of course, that was yesterday, at the Mahle Arena in Tampa, Florida. UConn defeated South Carolina with the final score of 82-59 to win the school's 12th national championship in their first since 2016. The teams traded the lead for much of the first quarter. South Carolina's Taina Papo scored the game's first points, and Sarah Strong, Chloe Kitts, Paige Buchers, Azzi Fudd, and Raven Johnson all scored in the first 5 minutes, after which UConn led by 1 point. The final 4 minutes of the first quarter only saw 4 points scored, and they were all by UConn. The Huskies' lead expanded to 9 early in the second, and despite a South Carolina effort that brought the deficit to 3 points with about 6 minutes remaining, the Huskies pushed the lead back up to 11 and ultimately entered halftime with a 10-point advantage. By halfway through the third quarter, UConn's lead was 13, and another offensive run by the Huskies resulted in a 20-point lead at the end of the third quarter. KK Arnold scored 7 points for UConn in the fourth quarter, and the Huskies totaled 20 as a team, finishing the game 23-point winners. So UConn took took a huge victory over SEC in Sunday afternoon's championship game with the final score of 82-59. So the UConn Huskies are your 2025 NCAA Women's Champions, the 12th overall, and their first title won since 2016. Of course, it was played on Sunday, April 6, 2025, at the Mahle Arena in Tampa, Florida, and the MVP was Azzi Fudd of UConn, and it was televised on ABC. It was televised national on ABC. Now come a day later, which of course would be. Now, of course, I've also have gone over. I also have talked to you guys. I'm giving you guys a recap of the 2025 NCAA Men's Final Four, which of course was played at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. Now here's a recap of what we all watched earlier tonight in the 2025 NCAA Men's Championship game between the Florida Gators and the Houston Cougars. So here's a recap of tonight's NCAA Men's Championship game. The 2025 NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship game was the final game of the 2025. So the 2025 NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship game was the final game of this season's men's basketball tournament. It determined the national champion for the 2024-25 the NCAA Division I men's basketball season was consisted by the number one seed, the Florida Gators from the SEC, the Southeastern Conference, and the number one seed, the Houston Cougars from the Big 12 Conference. The game was played earlier tonight on Monday, April 7th, at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. Florida, the SEC regular season runners-up, won the SEC tournament and were seeded first in the NCAA West Regional. They defeated Norfolk State, UConn, Maryland, Texas Tech, and Auburn to reach the championship game with a record of 35-4. The Gators enter seeking their third national title in what is their fourth championship appearance, their first one since 2007, and also the last time they competed in the championship game. Houston finished as Big 12 regular season and tournament champions and received the top seed in the NCAA Midwest Regional. They defeated SIU, Edwardsville, Gonzaga, Purdue, Tennessee, and Duke en route to the championship game. They entered with a similar 35-4 record, and they were seeking their first national title. It would have been their first national title in their school's history, the Houston Cougars. And of course, the Houston Cougars fell short by them being defeated over the Florida Gators. Of course, the Florida Gators defeated the Houston Cougars with the final score of 65-63, a very close one. And it was played earlier tonight at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. And the MVP was Walter Clayton Jr. of the Florida Gators. And it was televised nationally on CBS. And this game began approximately around 7:50 p.m. Central Daylight Time on Monday, April 7th. So again, congrats to the NCAA Women's Champions, the UConn Huskies, and the Men's Champions, the Florida Gators. And also, so now for the Florida Gators, it's their for the UConn Huskies, it's their first national title since 20. Now for the UConn Lady Huskies, now for the UConn Huskies, it's in the women's. It's the UConn women. Now in the women's, with UConn, it's their first championship title since 2016, and in the men's, the Florida Gators, it's their first championship title since 2007. So had Houston won, of course, I was rooting for Houston. I was pulling for Houston all along in tonight's game. Of course, it would have been Houston's first title ever in franchise history. And previously, they appeared in the championship title in 1984, within less than 2 weeks before I was born, over the Georgetown Hoyas that year. I actually watched that Vintage Classic on YouTube earlier today. So that's a recap of the 2024-25 NCAA college basketball season. Congrats to both teams. Women's, again, once more, the UConn Huskies for winning the women's, and the Florida Gators for winning the men's. All here on this Monday night. So, actually, UConn won on Sunday, which was yesterday. Then women's and the men's tonight is the Florida Gators who won. So congrats to both teams for winning. Congrats to both these teams for winning their respective games earlier tonight. And now let's have a say with you. Let's have a say with you, weather, of course. Now, it has been a rather very long and extremely hectic weekend. Of course, perhaps weekend. Not only across here, in our neck of the woods, but much of the south and central in the Midwestern portions of our country, with a very active and wild weather week. So, of course, excessive rains during the past few days in our parts of the region have resulted in river flooding. And of course, it turned out to be a very wild and dangerous weekend across many of us, with heavy amounts of rain and severe And of course, we've had tornadoes and severe warnings. It's just unbelievable. After several days of moderate to heavy rainfall, area waterways are forecast to rise to minor or moderate flood stage across northeast Texas, southwest Arkansas, and northern Louisiana. Current river flooding, while a dry forecast will continue, river flooding will be here to stay a while. So, while the rain has come to an end, several of our area waterways are in flood from past rainfall over the last 4 days, especially from what we saw since dating back towards the middle of last week. Impacted waterways in northeast Texas include the Sulphur, Cypress, Sabine, Angelina, and Natchez River basins. Impacted waterways in northern Louisiana include the Red River, Bayou Dorchet, the Little River, as well as Caddo Lake. Impacted waterways in southwest Arkansas include the Little River and the Ouachita River. So this is what you're seeing. So we're expecting much calmer and more cooperative weather in days to come. Tonight's forecast lows will range anywhere from the mid to upper 30s to low to mid 40s. So clear and cool with patchy fog and perhaps frost. Look for chilly temperatures again tonight. Look for chilly temperatures again tonight with overnight lows ranging from the mid to upper 30s to lower 40s. Some patchy frost is possible in northern zones, along with patchy fog under clear skies and light winds. Now, of course, we've seen this isolated flood warnings and with the excessive heavy rains that fell over much of the region during the past few days. Of course, the weekend starts. So now the weekend concluded with unusually cool temperatures. Highs yesterday with lots of clouds and patchy light drizzle, generally stayed in the 50s. Of course, we actually started off today with lots of clouds and patchy light drizzle, but eventually those clouds have given way to plenty of decent amounts of sunshine earlier this afternoon so plenty of sunshine for the first time in nearly almost like a week. So of course, other than the isolated flood warnings on area rivers and lakes from caused by excessive heavy rains over a good portion of our portion of the country. Besides the flood warnings and all, we are not under a watch or warning here on this Monday night. And of course, what you see here, all is quiet here on this Monday night. You're not finding a drop of rain. No drop of rain is to be found anywhere in sight. So this is absolutely welcome news for the first time since for the first time in almost over a week, nearly almost a week. We're not finding any rain, and of course a good portion of the south is also quiet, except the disturbance that probably was the same since that have come up last week with what you're seeing across the northern tip of the Florida, what you're seeing around just south of the Panhandle of Florida, going into portions of north and central Florida. That's all you're going to see. And what's going to cause us, of course, some of what's going to cause us to dry up this week is that we're going to be influenced by an area of high pressure, which is currently situated over a portion of northwest Texas, and another one over southwest Texas, and another one just in a portion of western New Mexico. That of course, we're finally going to see a drier pattern beginning to settle in that'll give us several days of much needed sunshine. However, river flood station, but due to, now of course, some parts of the area, some parts of the Mid-South has seen as much as at least over 10, between as much as 6, 7, 8, anywhere between 6 to 10 inches, also possibly over a foot of rain over the past few days. So while we start off with areas of patchy light drizzle, light rain early in the day, and those clouds had gradually give way to plenty of sunshine this afternoon for something we haven't seen much within the past week. Although temperatures remain on the cool side, yesterday we had highs in the 50s. Now today, despite the plenty of sunshine, we had our high temperatures in the 60s. So it was even though that's still cooler than normal for this time of year, it due to the return of sunshine, it turned out to be a rather pleasant day, despite temperatures being a bit on the cool side. So here's how things are looking outside here on this Monday night. Temperature outside is 52 degrees with clear skies. Humidity is 72%. Dew point is 43 degrees. Upper west wind at 5 miles per hour. And of course, that's with the wind chill factor. That's what feels like 51 degrees. So it is. But temperature outside is 52 degrees with clear skies. Humidity is 72%. Dew point is 43 degrees. We have a west wind at 5 miles per hour. Barometric pressure is at 30.08 inches of mercury. So with dew points in the 40s, that lets us know that dry air is finally settling. So that lets us know that dry air is finally settling in. And of course, things are going to remain that way. That lets us know that it is starting to feel rather comfortable outside. Does that should allow for temperatures to gradually drop during overnight hours. Flooding continues in the central U.S., more snow for the northeast U.S. For the lower Mississippi into the Ohio Valley, widespread moderate to major river flooding will continue through midweek. In response to last week's, excuse me, flooding continues in the central U.S., more snow for the northeast U.S. From the lower Mississippi into the Ohio Valley, widespread moderate to major river flooding will continue through midweek in response to last week's extreme rainfall. Areas of standing inundation will be slow to recede. A fast-moving storm system crossing the northeast U.S. through Tuesday will bring a few inches of snow and gusting winds, making for hazardous travel conditions. So pray for everyone traveling. Pray for everyone's safety travels as we navigate through this week across that portion of the country, the northeast U.S. Fortunately, we're not going to be dealing with anything like that here. So tonight it will be a chilly night for us. It will be a chilly night for us with clear skies. You probably want to grab those jackets and maybe grab those jackets and those sweaters while you head out tomorrow morning. It's either be a chilly night for us with clear skies as we bottom out at 43 degrees. Of course, that would be almost 10 degrees below what our normal low temperature should be this time of year. Not necessarily a record low, but it's going to be cooler than average. So record lows for this time, we would most likely be in the mid-30s. So we will have ways to drop before we were able to tie-break a record low. So it is possible that some isolated areas could tie-break the record low. So this will be some of the coolest temperatures we've seen so late in the season. So tonight, it will be a clear and chilly night for us with a low temperature 43 degrees to the west-northwest wind at 4 miles per hour and no rains expected. Tomorrow, going to your Tuesday, of course, tomorrow will be warmer today than today. It will be a pleasant day for us with plenty of sunshine. Temperatures actually, so we should actually be in the mid-70s. So 75 degrees, that's actually closer to what our normal high temperature should be this time of year. With the high temperature 75 degrees with the west wind at 5 miles per hour and no rains expected. A nice and pleasant spring day despite the chilly temperatures to start the day tomorrow. And by the way, tomorrow does mark the 1-year anniversary of the total solar eclipse. For those of you who remember going outside to take to view the eclipse from a year ago. For those of you, I remember viewing it. So join me tomorrow night as I give you guys one last recap of the great North American total solar eclipse. So this will be from Monday, April 8, 2024. That will be exactly 1 year ago tomorrow. So I will be talking to you guys about a recap of last year's total solar eclipse in my Facebook Live tomorrow night. Again, tomorrow will be a pleasant and warmer day. It will be expect warmer temperatures tomorrow. Finally, temperatures. So temperatures, however, we should be close to normal tomorrow with a high of 75 degrees. With the west wind 5 miles per hour, and we're not expecting any rain. So a nice day is set up tomorrow heading into your Tuesday. Something we haven't seen much as of late. After a very bumpy and rough week dealing with dealing with after a week's worth of dealing with periods of extremely active weather with tornadoes, severe thunderstorms, tornadoes, flash floods, all that stuff. Very heavy rainfall, of course. You notice how high the water is, especially if you've been like places like Texarkana, portions of Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, Kentucky, some Indiana, some of these few, Illinois, Missouri, some of these few states that have been dealing with copious amount of extremely heavy rainfall. So it is about time that the southern and midwestern sections of our country will finally dry out. So it's been a very active and historical week of dealing with severe weather. So skies should be remaining clear overnight. That will allow for temperature to drop well into the 40s. So we should start out tomorrow morning 6 a.m. with the temperature 43 degrees. 9 a.m. tomorrow with sunshine, we should be up to 55 degrees. Noon tomorrow with sunshine, we should be up to 67 degrees. 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, it should be turn out to be a delightful. We should have delightful sunny skies with the temperature 73 degrees. And we should be a joyful and delightful day. 6 p.m. tomorrow evening with sunshine, we should be at 73 degrees. 9 p.m. tomorrow night with clear skies, we should be down to 62 degrees. So if you didn't get enough sunshine today, despite the cool temperatures, just wait until you see how much sun we're going to be expecting for tomorrow. And here's what the next 7 to 10 days have in store for us. So after low temperature night, 43 degrees. That's probably going to be the coolest reading we'll see after the next several days. So after rather chilly start to the day tomorrow, with the low temperature night 43 degrees. That's not the record low, but so record low for tomorrow will be like 35. So we should be above that. So after tonight's low temperature 43 degrees with clear skies and chilly conditions, tomorrow going to your Tuesday. Of course, tomorrow is expected to be warmer than today, but it will be a pleasant day for us with plenty of sunshine. High of 75, lower 48. Winds will be from the west at 5 miles per hour, and no rain is expected. Excuse me. So we're expecting a totally dry day for the first time in like nearly a week. So finally, a nice and pleasant spring day, despite the cool start. Wednesday, of course, we have another day of where we will continue the pleasant and nice pattern with plenty of sunshine. High of 79, low of 54. Winds will be from the south-southwest at 12 miles per hour, and no rain is expected. Thursday, we have sunshine mixing with some clouds. But I say we have partly cloudy skies heading to your Thursday. With the high of 83, low of 54, winds will be from the west at 8 miles per hour, and no rain is expected. And of course, on Friday, we'll take it down just a few degrees. It will be a beautiful and nice spring day for us with mostly sunny skies for your Friday. High of 78, low of 51, winds will be from the north-northwest at 10 miles per hour, and Friday's also looking nice and dry with no rain. And of course, we go into the upcoming weekend. Another beautiful and nice day is this. Another beautiful and nice day is set for us as we go into your Saturday as we start the weekend. Plenty of sunshine. High of 76, low of 56. Winds will be from the southeast at 6 miles per hour, and no rain is expected. And of course, Sunday it'll be a very warm day for us. Although we start to see temperatures warming up, should be another nice day for us with very warm temperatures and plenty of sunshine. High of 84, low of 63. Winds will be from the south at 12 miles per hour. And I have a 10% chance of rain for Sunday, but I still say that Sunday is also going to be a dry day for us. And then we're going to start next week. The warm and dry conditions will continue. With plenty of sunshine, high of 88, low of 64. Winds will be from the south-southwest at 12 miles per hour, and we're not expecting any rain. So this is going to be like the stretches of one of the longest stretches of nice weather we have had in a long while. I mean, since when's the last time we've had a forecast like this? And then we'll start to bring in at least long rain chances for next Tuesday, which is the 15th. Of course, that is the date of my birthday. Next Tuesday, April 15th. We should have partly cloudy skies, maybe a slight chance of a shower or two, highs in the low 80s. Then for next Wednesday, which is the 16th, we'll be dealing with a couple. We have a couple, with just at least a slight chance of a shower, thunderstorm or two. Now I'm not counting on anything much toward the middle of next week as of right now, the way things are looking. Highs in mid 80s with a 20% rain chance. Start to see a slightly better rain chance with a couple showers possible. Highs in mid 80s, chance of rain 30%. This would be for next Thursday, which is the 17th. So again, two thumbs up for the forecast. Finally, we start to see now temperatures now we even although we'll see cooler temperatures happening overnight tonight. Although temperatures will have a rather chilly start to the day tomorrow, it should turn out to be a nice and pleasant spring day for us going into your Tuesday with highs reaching the mid 70s. So again, before you're heading out tomorrow morning, you want to grab those jackets and sweaters, but what a nice start to the day. Finally, finally we start to see. Finally, at last, our weather is looking peaceful and great. After weeks worth of bumpy and weather, dealing with back-to-back with back-to-back storms on at least on four occasions at least. We've had 4 severe weather alert days, where 3 out of these 4 days we've at least 2 out of these 4 days. Now we've had I'd say 3 out of the 4 days according to National Weather Service here in Shreveport. We've had, I think, 3 days, at least 3 days we've had enhanced risk of severe weather, which impacted. And of course, we've seen the heaviest up now. Now 3 of these 4 days we actually had a trace amount of rain here in Shreveport, but on Saturday we've seen over 2.5 inches of rain. So Saturday turned out to be such a drenching day with torrential downpours to start the weekend. So, we've had multiple. Now, of course, we've had multiple tornado warnings. We've had multiple severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado watches, and also we've had a plethora. We've had several flash flood warnings during the day on Saturday that's when the main upper level system came through. So it turned out to be an active day. That has led us to an unusually cooling, chilly, and damp Sunday with lots of clouds lingering. But today, but now we still see some clouds, and still we've had even though things are still rather chilly and damp early in the day, but we've seen the clouds gradually breaking apart, finally giving us the streak of. Finally giving us some sunshine. That's some. And of course, if you're liking the sunshine, then if you're liking the sunshine, then you're gonna love the forecast I have for this week. We're looking at beautiful, nice spring days. Finally, the taste of spring. Finally, we finally start to see our weather turning towards the calmer side of spring, with no rain chances, no severe storms, no severe weather of any type of expected. Finally, we can relax. But I'm going to have to say this, but don't get too used, but enjoy while you can, but because it appears that sometime sooner or later we will start to see active weather return to the region again. That's what we're going to have to be dealing with, and just keep our fingers crossed, hopefully not like before. So just enjoy the nice and pleasant weather while it lasts. Again, where we should have highs in the mid 70s. We should have highs in the mid 70s for tomorrow, which is just about normal for this time of year. We should get things a little warmer for your Wednesday with highs reaching the upper 70s. We're in the low 80s for Thursday. We have a weak cold front that's going to come through. It's not going to bring any. But we have highs in mid 70s for tomorrow, which is Tuesday. We're in the upper 70s for Wednesday. And of course, we warm well into the low 80s for Thursday. Then we'll ease it back down with highs reaching the mid to upper 70s for both Friday and Saturday. Then we'll see things warming back up to the mid 80s by Sunday. Then we're well into the upper 80s as we get into your Monday, start of next weekend. Rain chances. You're not expecting any rain. Also, you're not expecting any rain. So, no. Even though I have that 10% chance for Sunday, I say the entire 70. At least the next week or so, at least, we're not looking for any rain. So, looking one solid week of nice, pleasant, and dry weather. So, if you're enjoying it. So of course this is going to be the forecast you're going to enjoy. Several days worth being outdoors, something we haven't been experiencing too much of as of late. And also, I do not have any days of breezy or windy conditions. That's another thing I'm liking about this week's forecast. Looks like the earliest best rain chance we'll see that probably won't happen until towards the middle, as we approach at least toward the middle of next week. So no need to worry with any rain or any storms, any severe weather, any type. As of right now, finally take time for areas doing survey storm reports and conveying storm damages and doing recap of what has been a very wild and active week and the start of the weekend. So finally the remainder of the week is looking dry, and also the upcoming weekend is also looking nice and dry. This is totally going to be one enjoyable forecast, one of the enjoyable weather patterns we've seen so far. The enjoyable forecast, some of the enjoyable weather, some of the nicest weather we have had so far this year, and also it won't be so humid and that time. Just several days of nice weather. It is well worth getting outside to enjoy. So again, looks like the coolest of the. We start off tomorrow. We'll have a cool start today tomorrow. Then we'll see temperatures warm up towards the middle of the week. Maybe it's the middle of the. All I'm saying, the next 7 days looking rather nice and pleasant with plenty of sunshine on the way, with no rain chances and no severe weather of any type is expected. 7 days to get out and enjoy the weather. Well, that will be all that I have for you guys here on this Monday night. Once again, my name is Felton Parker. I'm officially signing off here. You guys have a good night. Sleep peacefully. Take care of yourselves and each other. Most of all, remain blessed and stay safe. Thank you.